Hello everybody, how you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing very good. So today's Q&A day, and for those that want to ask questions, please come on, ask questions. And even after this video is posted and you felt you had questions that you wanted to ask, just leave them in the comment box below and I will gladly answer them. All right. Let's get some of your questions answered, right? We want to talk today. I want to talk to you guys. How everybody doing? You know, I think every day I might come on here if I have the time, if I'm not booked for an appointment or if I'm scheduled for something. I'll come on and do Q&As. You know, ask me anything. What you want to know? What you want to learn about? You want to know about your 401ks? You want to know about your 403bs? You want to know about your 457s? You want to know about an IRA? You want to know about annuities? You want to know about pension? What you want to know about? Right? Talk to me. Yeah, let me know. That's one of the things that I love about what I do. And remember, you got to tag your friend, tell somebody, right? And like I said, I started out my Monday today as a beautiful day. And one of the greatest thing about, you know, being in business where educating people is such a great thing, I must say I'm truly blessed. And like I said, if you have questions, ask. They shall be answered. If you want some understanding about something, if you hear someone else say something about something that you don't make sense of, you know, let's clear that up for you today. Let's give you some insights. Let me see here. Let's reach out to a few folks, right? Let's see how everybody doing today. Right? What's new? What's on everybody's mind? Now, how's everybody doing today? Everybody having a blessed Monday? All right? Everything going great? What's the word for today? We all got to remember that we're great peoples. All right? So like I said, I'm going to run this live. Let's see who wants some questions answered. If you have questions, comment in the comment box. As you can see, this morning, I woke up with a lot of stuff to get done, right? And one of the biggest things that I love about what I do is the fact that I'm able to answer people's questions, get people clarity in some of their things that they have on their mind. People need to have clarity and understanding about what is it that they have, you know. Let me see here. I just want to share with you guys this real quick right here. All right. If you guys never heard the impression of what's called a three-legged stool, right? This is what's called a three-legged stool. See, back in the days, your three-legged stool was your pensions, it was your savings, and Social Security, right? And we already seen where 3 of those things are already in trouble. Now, they took away the pension and replaced it with a 401k because the pension was considered what's called a defined benefit plan. And then they replaced it with defined contribution. Now, the reason why defined, let me give you just an easier way to remember it. Now, the word benefit, defined benefit, Now, something that will benefit you, right, in the long run. Now, the benefit in you, that is a pension. So when you think about benefit, think about pension. Pension benefit you because it's based on the salary level that what you earned, and the amount of years that you work within one particular company will determine how much pension you will have, how much you will get in your retirement age, right? Now, when you think about defined contribution, think about the word contribution, how much you're putting in. So it's how much you put in the 401k, and based on the market's fluctuation, as it would determine how much you will have. Plus, all income from this vehicle is considered a tax ordinary. You be taxed as ordinary income. Plus, you have to worry about management fees and all these different type of things. So it's hard to determine what your 401k will have for you in the later years to come, based on the fact that it's not so much dependent on how much you've put in. Your job is not so much of how many years you've worked. It's really all about the grace of the market on how much you're putting in, right? And when is it that you're doing, and how conservative you are or aggressive you can be. Because there's a thing that you call being conservative, is where you're not being so aggressive in the market, and then you have times when you have to be aggressive, but it's kind of hard for the natural normal person to know when is such a good time and when is a bad time to do so. So these are things that I think as people we need to do, and we should not put so much trust and so much control back in someone else's hand. And if we take the time to learn about money, because here's the thing, here's why I personally believe that school is not for everybody. And I look at the education program, right? And like special ed, right? I was in special ed in high school, right? Or I don't know what's the other word for what they call it. I remember it's called special ed or whatever. So I was in special ed in school, right? And I remember the reason why they put me in special ed is not even so much that I had a learning disability so much. It was because of the fact that I didn't do my homework, right? I didn't do my homework, and my grades have dropped dramatically, and I was kind of like, I was bored in school. I was practically bored out my mind in school. I just felt like no one took the time to really say, hey, let me teach this guy something. And I was kind of like teaching myself in a sense. And I looked at school as the biggest joke. I when they put me in special ed, I took advantage of it. I was on the high honor roll from being in special ed, right? And I was making the class look like it was such an easy thing until like freshman year, they took me out of it. And they were like, this guy really know what he's doing. And I guess I was just being lazy at the time. A lot of people didn't understand. I was going through some crazy stuff in school too, man. I lost my dad at the age of 15, so I was dealing with all of that. I didn't care about no school. I could care less. So the reason why I share that with you guys is because sometimes we as people don't take the time to learn things. And I learned more since I left school than when I was in school. Like, you'd be surprised how much you could teach yourself, and the resources is here. You have things like Google. You could Google things. You could research things as far as find out real facts, learn about real things. You have YouTube that have different people that's teaching you how to break it down. What does it mean? How does it do? You got all these resources at your fingertip. It's either could be on an iPhone, it could be on a smartphone, it could be on your laptop, it could be wherever. You have books that tell you these things. So you could pretty much teach yourself anything that you want. But I think the biggest lesson that we need to learn as people, because think about it. We go to school to learn. By learning, we accomplish to then go into college. We'll go to college to then go get a good job, and to get a good job so that way we could enjoy a good life. So when you tie all these things together, how can I get the good job? Why do I want a good job? Why do I want to get the good life? You want to get the good life because you want to make money. So if you go to school this whole time just to acquire a good life and don't understand that it takes money to do that, because there ain't nothing gonna fall out the sky and just drop out the sky. Here goes a house, boom. Here goes a car, boom. Because you just magically think about it. It takes money. So That's why people work to then retire. So I look at these things and I'm saying, okay, if the end goal, like if I want to fast forward, right? If I was young again, like my kids, if I was like 6 years old, and someone was to get me understanding that, hey, in the end, when it's all said and done and you're finished with school, it all comes down to making money, right? Or acquire wealth, I should say, because I think money is on its way out as far as different currencies, right? So when you look at these things, and it all comes down to making money, if we all understood, right? And I mean, like, if we were taught how to properly understand how money work, I think a lot of us would have avoided a lot of the mistakes that we've made when it comes to having money, right? Because I can imagine, everybody can agree that there was a time in our life where we acquired a lot of money and we probably blew through it. It's either when we lived at our parents' house or when we were on our own. We had that just one good time in our life where money was flowing. Like everybody always referred to the 90s. Like I remember the 90s, everybody had money. I don't think there was such thing as broke people, right? I know middle class was the true middle class in the 90s. No, everybody was striving in the 90s. 90s was awesome. And then the 2000s happened. And then the 2001 happened. Then the 2008 happened. And it's like a lot of people lost a lot of money. A lot of people lost a lot of money. A lot of families lost a lot of wealth. And it all comes back down to money. I love when people love to tell me about the stock market and buying stocks and all these different things. And I say, okay, I understand that. But due to the fact what happened in 2001 and 2008, nothing is wrong with buying stocks. But it's just a matter of, don't tell me that's where I should put my biggest focus. Because people need a way to secure wealth. You need a way to secure wealth. You need an avenue that will say, you know what? I won't lose everything again, or I won't be affected by this. And when you learn the difference, right? And that's why I always make the statement that if you understand taxes, you will know where to put your money. And that's a big thing, because most of us don't take the time to understand taxes. And I think that is the most valuable information as far as we as people need to know this. We need to truly understand the different ways our money get taxed. And if we don't take the time to learn this, it will be our greatest downfall. It will be our greatest downfall. And that's why we as people have been struggling year by year, week by week, day by day, because we don't understand or took the time to learn it. Or better yet, nobody's out here teaching us, right? And that's one of the reasons why I love what we're doing as far as our company. You know, a lot of people think that we're insurance agents, and a lot of people think that we're into this recruiting thing, and it's all about that. Yes, it used to be at one point where that was our focus, and people may misunderstand what was the purpose of our company. And over time, companies change their purpose and their focus and what is it that they're about. And particularly with our company, you know, we're a marketing and distribution company. And it comes down to what is it that you're focused on. Some people focus on want to be that type of person. Some people, everybody's different. But the one thing that we're all, and I could say this genuinely about my company, is the fact that we're all trying to help people. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how it's delivered or how it's being said. We're genuinely trying to help people win the money game. Money's a game. It is a tool. If you ever play Monopoly, it is a tool, guys. And it's the same way how you play Monopoly. You literally, every day, think about it. Let me break it down and show you. You have Monopoly, right? And you have a board. Everybody start at the start point, right? Now, the way I'm going to explain this, you then got to put your life into this, right? Everybody have a starting point in life. Some people's starting point is earlier than some. Some people's starting point is later than some. Like, for me, due to the fact that I can only talk about me and my personal, right? Due to the fact that I had to start in life early, right? Because I was 15 years old and I was working over 30 hours, still playing sports at school, still doing school, and I was helping my mom pay the mortgage, right? And all these different things. So I had responsibility. So I had to start in life early, right? I learned responsibilities. I learned things that I had to commit to, right? Then I became a father. So on that dice game, right? At 15, I got my first job, and I worked at a drug fair in Boonton, New Jersey, right? I was a cashier and a floor and a sales clerk, I guess they call it. And I worked at this place at the age of 15 years old, right? And I had an early start. So I started making money at an early age. And I started learning the responsibility of learning how to juggle a job, schoolwork, and playing sports, and how to manage my time in a sense, right? And matter of fact, it even started way back before that in Jamaica, but we'll just talk about here when I started in the U.S., right? So I learned all these things from an early age. So on that Monopoly game, when you roll the dice and whatever number that is, I had like 1, 2, 3, 4 step ahead of things, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? I had a step ahead. Now with this step ahead that I had in life, it was just understanding our I guess concepts. I was getting to what the future may look like if I wanted to go down that avenue, right? Now, when I graduated school and I lost my scholarships for football and stuff like that, and I didn't go play football. I was home, and I remember my mom looked at me and said, "What are you going to do now? You know, what's the plan? You're not going to school. What's the plan?" And I clearly looked at her and I simply just said, the plan is I will go get another job, right? So now I went to go look for a second job. So that's me rolling the dice again, right? Roll the dice again. Here comes another moves. I need another move, right? Because the goal is to go around these boards and have money and then acquire things, right? So I bought my second car when I just graduated high school, and I had a Mazda 626, 1988, right? And then I bought my second car, and at the time I then bought I bought an Audi, yeah, I bought an Audi, my first foreign car, right? And I had 2 jobs. Now at this point, I have 2 cars, still living at my mom's house, and then I started getting into music, right? Here I go again, roll the dice, right? I'm not Monopoly board, making my way around, right? Trying to acquire more things. And as I make my way around the board, I then got into music, and then I started my entertainment company, and then that entertainment company kind of took off, and then I started doing well in this entertainment company, and things look good, right? Then I started acquiring more things again, right? I'm rolling that dice because that's the game of Monopoly, right? You work to acquire more wealth. And then at 19 years old or 20, 21, I started doing things. I started looking like, man, everything is flowing for me right now. Everything is going great. Why not become a father? Right? Roll the dice again. Acquire a child. Right? And this is how life is playing out. And then what happened when you pick up the wrong card on the Monopoly board and it says, go to jail? Right? Or it tells you, move 2 steps backwards, or skip 2 turns, or you have to throw dice, right? And that's how life is. Now, what happened? I got hit with a major setback. So now I'm sitting here trying to roll 2 sixes to get out of it, right? It's a game. Life is a game. Money is a game. It's a monopoly game. If you don't understand the rules of the game, you will stay in that little jail thing because you can't roll the double sixes to get out. Because at the end of the day, when you throw that dice, right? When you throw that dice, there's no guarantee that tell you that it's going to land on 666, right? It's going to land on 2 sixes that you need to get out of the jail. There's no guarantee. There's none. You're just rolling the dice called faith. And you're just hoping land on 6. Land on 6. Oh my God, land on the 6. And then it land on the 6. And you get out. But you got to believe that it can land on 6 first because that's faith. So life is like a Monopoly game. If you never play Monopoly, I encourage you to do. Alright? Because it will give you a clearer understanding about life and money. I love playing Monopoly since I was in Jamaica. I think that's why I love business so much. Because every time I played Monopoly, I had this one aunt, my Aunt Simone, man. She was a beast at Monopoly. I mean, like, this one used to put me in debt every time. I used to get up from that game and I used to be pissed off. I used to walk, I used to just walk out and be like mad as hell, right? Because she was so good. And she understood the concept of acquiring money and property and having someone land on it. I mean, like, she literally owned the whole board, man. I used to be like skipping. I was like, oh my God, how much is the rent for this one? Oh my, and by like the second go around on the board, I was broke. Right? Because she landed on so many different places that she owned. And I think I learned and understood life from playing Monopoly with her. Or even watching her play and how she would just conquer the game. And at that early stage, I learned business. I understood business. Right? And that's one game that I play with my kids all the time, and I teach them how to play it because I want them to get the concept of that it's not greed. I think people use the word greed because they're lazy and they don't want to acquire more in life, and you should not be mad at someone that want more in life. I think what you should do is get off your ass and don't be jealous of someone for that. I think you should just really go after it yourself. You know, I can never sit here and envy a rich person, in a sense. I think what I could do is just become rich and be my own type of rich person and do what I think I should do with my money and not so much care about what someone do with their money, right? Because a lot of us always have, my mom always say, don't plan a man's pocket. Because most of us, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell rich people what to do with their money. And you don't even know half the stuff they had to go through to acquire their wealth, right? So when I look at Monopoly and I understood business, I understood life, I understood what it was trying to teach me, because that game Monopoly, it taught me that life, going around that board, it is just a dice. And it's all by faith and belief. What you believe is what it will be. Once you roll that dice, and whatever numbers come out of that, you have the faith, you have the power in your hands. And it's all based on the numbers you throw. And once I learned that concept of moving 7 around the board and don't land on that particular one, or don't pick up the card that say go to jail, or pick up the one that say you get $500. Guys, that game is so deep, and it's now as a grown man and with higher understanding, I learned business from Monopoly. From that Monopoly game, I learned business from it. I learned the concept of life. I learned the understanding that the more things I own, not for my personal self, but for more the use of others, in a sense, right? Because when you own more properties on the board and people land on this, they have to pay you, right? So I look at that and I was like, man, I need something like that in my life, right? So when I did my entertainment company, I started doing music. So I know I could have sold music. Then I built a brand. Then I could have sold shirts and clothing and hat, right? Because it was a popular thing. So these are just things that we got to understand about life, and there's nothing wrong with it. Now, the thing that I love about what I do now, I love the fact that I never have to sell. I love the fact that I never have to feel like I have to be this professional, best of the best type of thing, right? So that's one of the biggest things that I could say I took away from the Monopoly game, is just understanding that life is really all about taking control. And like I said, the reason why I love what I do now is because I don't have to put someone in a position where they have to pay me for a service or something, where I have to put the burden on them. I love the fact that I could just focus on how to help a person acquire more in life, and someone's going to pay me for that. But it's never the burden of the person. And I love that. I love educating people. I love, I guess, giving back in a sense. Because, you know, the greatest thing in life, and this is something that we should truly look into, and it's not so much about what is it that we could do, what is it that we could get. It's about how much can you give. It's about how much people you can help. It's about how much people you could impact in your time on earth. I think that's your truest, purest form of life-fulfilling goals. You know, they always say you got to make the earth a better place than when you found it. And that's what I hope to do one day, is to make such an impact on earth where it's a generational impact, where it help one person and it helps someone else. And that's what we do in this business. You know, sitting down and teaching someone about finance, or a business owner, a small business owner that has an accountant that take control of their money all the time and they don't understand how to do it. But if you could teach a small business owner how to do it himself and show him a simple concepts and simple ways of how to manage his finances, that saves him so much money. That saves him a lot of money. And that saves him the headache too. Because I always say people trust themselves more, because then you don't have to stay up at night wondering, like, is this guy doing me wrong? Is this guy doing me great? Can I truly trust him? You'd be surprised. The lack of trust in something or anyone, that thing will drive you nuts at night. Right? So the thing is, we got to get in a position where we as people could get to a point where we could help as many people as possible. And I mean genuinely help somebody, educate someone, give someone the opportunity to say, man, this thing didn't just impact me, but it impacted my kids, and this is going to impact my kids' kids. You know, the best wealth you could give someone is knowledge. Knowledge is one of the greatest wealth you could give to anybody, Because I heard a famous person said, you could take away all my riches, take away all my cars, all my houses, but the one thing you can never stop me from acquiring it all back, as long as I have knowledge and my mind is in a saint's place, I can get back all the wealth. Why do you think rich people know how to bounce back? Why do you think wealthy people never stay broke for too long? Because they know how to get it all back. There's, it's something about once you know, you know. No one can't take away knowledge from you. They could take away your business. They could take away your house. They could take away your car. They could take away your ability of livelihood. But let me tell you, you can even lock a man up in jail. And if he's a business savvy person, he could create an opportunity or a way to make money even behind bars, because there's a guy right now that's in jail. And he work his butt off in jail. He's serving a life sentence. But yet still he put himself in a position to work, save his money, and started trading while he's behind bars. And on his time in the library, he traded. And the guy made millions of dollars behind bars from trading. Because like I said, once you know what you know, no one can take it from you. And no matter where they put you, you're going to always find a way to become rich or wealthy. And wealth comes in many different forms. It's not just in money. It could be in health, right? Because I remember when I got my car accident. And I thought about the fact that, man, I can't go running, I can't go shooting, and all these things. And I thought about all the stuff that I've learned on how to rehabilitate my body and how to drop weight and how to gain weight. And I think about that because in wrestling, I would have to drop weight and pick it back up for football season and put on back another 50 pounds by football season, then drop another 50 pounds for wrestling. And I learned techniques, safe techniques of how to do that. And one of the things that I was thinking about that the other day, and it kind of came back to me, and I was like, I need to go back to my old routine, because your body is like a memory card, and you got to understand that you're a walking memory chip, and there's muscle memories, and your body is used to a certain way because it was already trained on how to do this. And I started doing back my old remedies, my old techniques, because my body is used to it, and it's been working. I've been dropping weight, right? And I still eat the same way I do. I still do everything the same way I do, right? But it's like I said, I have a technique that helped me lose weight, and it always work, no matter what, right? No matter what. So knowledge is the purest form of wealth. And that's what we're trying to do. We're not, when people say, oh, you're trying to make us wealthy, you're going to make it. No, I'm trying to make you wealthy in the mind, right? Teach you some new habits, some new understanding of things. Okay, if you understand things, it eliminates confusion, right? And that's what we always have to do. We just got to get to a point where we understand things, and it eliminates confusion, and it brings clarity. And we as people need clarity, and we need to understand what is going on, so that way no one can bamboozle us. Because like I said, once you know what you know, no one can't tell you anything else unless it's more information that will complement what you already know, right? Because here's the thing too, don't just follow blindly. I always tell my clients, research and do your diligent research. If you come across something that you don't understand and you need some more clarification on that, I'll gladly clarify it. And I think in business, we got to be very transparent, very, very transparent, because once you become this thing where if you feel challenged or something like that, then you have something to hide. I like being transparent. I'm very transparent in business, because in today's day, people are skeptical, and people need to know that, hey, you're not another Bernie Madoff or one of those guys that got off with so many things, or, we got to be very transparent in business. And it's very, very great for people to know that this guy or this girl or this woman or this man, whatever, is very transparent, very straight to the point, very open, and very, very honest. And that's one of the things that we got to get better at. You know, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect, right? I have my moments where I'm a little bit, you know, I get petty, but it's okay, right? Something you work on, and no one is perfect. We're human beings. We're bound to make mistakes, but the best thing about it, when you know that you become a better person, when you admit them, right? You first gotta admit a problem, to then fix it and create a solution, and that's what we just gotta get better at, right? So that's pretty much some of the good things I want to share with you guys today, and let's keep being awesome. Let's keep getting better and better, and we're gonna get stronger, all right? And like I said, every day we're gonna come down and we're gonna break things down, and we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna grow from it, and definitely empower ourselves from it. And while we empower ourselves, we're empowering others, so that way others can get the power that they need to overcome all obstacles that they may have. All right. So remember to always leave your Q&A in the bottom. All right, and I'll answer them as quickly as I can. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. And as always, I appreciate you guys. Love you all. And have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.